Hey guys, how's it going? tmanplays here with another Warno ranked game for you today. And I'm just going to say it 7th Panzer is back. So I was actually playing on Twitch. We did a 7th Panzer stream. And one of my followers on there, Mr. Ganem, I'll give credit where credit's due, he suggested that I run these T-72Ms, which we forgot to deploy these. Just don't mind that. But he suggested that we run these on base vet instead of upbetting them. So that way you get 6 per card of 2 cards instead of 3. And that's because they come with this resolute trait, right? So resolute, they take less suppression in combat. So that already kind of gives them a buff to what you want because they're not really going to lose cohesion as easily. So we went into ranked with 7th Panzer, and we had a lot of fun games with them. And this is one of them. This is against a good player, Homelander, who is playing the strongest division in the game, in my opinion, 35Y. So my strategy here was I knew he was probably going to get into my town at the start. He is a very aggressive player, so I didn't want to fiddle with just sending units into their death. Wanted to do kind of a deploy on the outskirts of the town, have plenty of fire support. Again, I forgot about these T-72Ms. I will remember them shortly and then pat them up because I'm like, where are my tanks here? But basically, we're just creating a wall of fire on the outskirts, and then we're just going to move in our infantry and slowly take them out over time that way. I do at least have my command tank here, which is unfortunately going to miss the first shot. This T-55 also doesn't have smoke, so it's kind of good for me that he decided to back away. And then by forward deploy, I just moved to this building. That way, if he got to the edge of this town, I could just see that ahead of time. In terms of defense on the left, just rocking 2 T-55As just on the outskirts of Bravo, just so that we have a little bit of a barrier there. But you can see I'm moving all my BMPs to areas where they can hit his infantry. And then we're just slowly moving in our Machschützen, basically trying to get favorable engagements. Also have the MiG-21 that's going to come in. 2 pretty healthy squads there are going to go down to my really cheap bomber. And then one of my tanks got here. I finally realized the 2 tanks that I didn't move weren't there. So I did move those up as well. And I'm going to start moving ahead my BMP-1s as kind of just a scouting force with the tanks behind. Also going to move the SPW-70 over there as well. And you can see I'm just kind of slowly moving in, taking my time. I don't need to be too aggressive here. One positive for me is that he has, for some reason, decided not to cap this side of the point at the start, so it's allowing him not to get the plus tick over here. So we are kind of neutral at the moment, even though he is contesting my zone. LGB bomber. Gonna destroy one of my infantry there. I do have a Strela and a Shilka. Shilka does just do a little bit of damage there, but he's going to be able to get that back up shortly. And then on this side, all my BMP-1s now spotting his BMD-2s. T-72 is now finally pushing up, going to be able to take one of those out. MiG-21 going for the Spetsnaz in the back. Don't find the kill though. But we've at least kind of chased him out from the left side of the objective now. And then that SPG-9 not going to last too long with just all this fire support. So we do see his T-64 here. I'm debating how I want to deal with that. Fortunately, I do get side shot kind of with that T-72M that I was moving through cover there. I'd also move up the Machschützen here to maybe get a side shot if he gets too aggressive, as I'm just, slowly clearing him out the rest of this objective. Not going to risk pushing these up when they're damaged like this. Just going to repair them. We can always just repair and then re-engage later on. And we're just getting a little bit more infantry just to make sure that he is completely out of this point before I start getting more armor to deal with these T-64 BVs. But you can see at the top, no ammo has been used here. As I'm playing, I'm just kind of, in like this, And looking at this mini map, I still see my 2 units there. I don't see any blue things. So I know that there's nothing really sneaking through me at this point in time. I do get a bomber and a HE plane. Trying to use them at the same time. Bomber doesn't drop because I lost visual on whatever I was going to go for. AT plane, though, gets a really nice hit on that T-64 BV. Does take that out. And with our tank sealed, we can start pushing those back up to do some damage here. Strelatin M in the back, gonna move up to help deal with these MI8s. Also move back some infantry on the SPW-70s just so that they wouldn't take rocket fire. And now that I got 3 of these T-72Ms up, we're gonna move them forward since I know there's nothing in these buildings because of these BMPs. Just slowly kicking him out of my point. We see the Mi-24K, so the Shilka. Gonna try and move up to deal with that. Does finally get in range there. Does a little bit of damage. Forces him to at least pull back. And I'm moving forward my tank command there just to try and upfit some of these units. LGB coming back in. I see that, so I just smoke off all my important stuff. Unfortunately, this tank smokes off just a little too late. Somehow stays on 1 HP. It did kind of target right between the Shilka and the T-72M. Would have been really bad for the Shilka to go down because then I would have had to pat this AA all the way over because we don't really have that much AA here. So after that strike, I realized I need to get some more AA up. So I am going to rectify that with sort of the next ticks of income just to make sure that he can't really LGB me anymore. You can already see I'm getting another Shilka and a Cube with some supply just to deny him doing that anymore. And once this is done routing, we have the supply here just to help heal everything up. So I have plenty of infantry in my town now. I also got some infantry to these buildings because this is really important for me to hold. This is standard 2 Lakes. I don't really have the desire to push him in Delta because he's just going to have metas and ATGMs everywhere. I don't really want to push across the open with 7th Panzer. So right now I'm thinking, okay, well, I got all this infantry here. Let's go ahead, clear out this little forest. Let's go ahead, maybe start pushing into here with these guys. And then maybe our infantry can just kind of start the run to this point, run a CV up in there as well, take control of this, and then just kind of flood into his rear zone. So to accomplish that, getting more T-72s, you can see I even bought another Cube just to deny that LGB because now I'm thinking, all right, well, yeah, I'm going to have to kind of extend a lot here, so I'm going to need a lot of long-range AA and then another T-72M as well. So we see his T-64, one of our T-72s, going to start engaging that. Going to move the BMPs just to help kind of be a distraction, get some hits themselves. As we take a pretty nasty shot there. Let one more fire, then I smoke because one more hit there going to be enough to take me out. Move forward my other T-72M with full HP. You can see the BMP-1's actually doing a pretty good job here of just doing damage over time. And then the T-72M ends up getting the final blow there. All the infantry I'm moving in here are getting shot by these BMP-2s. LGB bomber does kill my T-72M, but we do take it out in return just because of all this AA that I've now purchased. Help from the Cubes there as well. And I'm also going to start moving forward some of these units in the rear that just kind of kept the security in case he did have something kind of behind my line there. So all my infantry that I pushed up did get taken out. So we are going to need to buy some more infantry if we want to kind of pursue this some more. And I had to pull back my tank because it got damaged. So now these BMPs kind of on their own. Shilka doesn't want to get caught out. So just going to go ahead and start reversing that. Smoke off the BMP-1s. Maybe send up these T-72s when they're ready. On the right, though, we know he doesn't really have anything in here because this SPW-70 was just able to move freely all the way to kind of the edge of the point. And we see he's actually being pretty aggressive. So I'm going to go ahead and move my T-72 up to the edge of that. The smoke's going to disappear on the BMP-1s. Unfortunately, they get taken out pretty quickly there, just from the autocannons and a meta shot. Does get a nice hit, at least. Not able to one-shot a 2 armored vehicle, though. And then here, I'm getting shot by invisible ATGMs. Unfortunately for me, I don't have recon or infantry at the edge, so I'm going to try and rectify that with just sending the pioneers up and the mod shoots to be able to maybe see some of these metas that are very clearly firing at me from inside the tree line here. They get some really nice hits, so I'm forced to kind of smoke off and pull back to repair. Trying to find where they are and bomb. I knew there was one probably in this building. Looks like I didn't get the kill, though. Fortunately for me, my Strela here gets tagged by this one. The infantry finally able to help me really spot some of this. Other bomber going to destroy that other one there. But he does have some serious AA here. So I'm not going to really be able to take advantage of my air power. You can see, finally spot this metis here. Moving my infantry to the outermost building. And now this T-72M can really start doing some damage. I was able to save this other one as well. And then we're slowly moving this one up the edge in hopes of basically getting a shot on this T-64 BV. So I see him coming for me. I don't want him to shoot me. So we're just going to go ahead and reverse. Do take out another meta squad there. It's a nice kill. Get a shot with those 2 tanks. Realize he's going to have to run back from this. So I was going to push forward here. But we did take him out just from our 2 reinforcement T-72s there. And I'm fine taking shots from the metis as long as it's facing front armor. So I'm just going to leave these guys to engage. Go ahead and push across our infantry here. We have these guys spotted now. Our 3 tanks here should be able to easily deal with that. And then the good thing about 7th Panzer, we have plenty of supply. These really nice T813 munitions trucks. 2,000 supplies, 65 points, 3 per card. I have 2 cards of these, and then 1 card of the just standard MTLB. That gives me a nice 12,000 plus 500, so 17,000 supply. So I can just call out supply for a really, really long time. And since I have these T-72s at 1 vet, we can just keep basically printing T-72s. You see supplies coming in. Just going to replace the damaged one with the full HP one. Starting to gain some ground over here now. He does have an Akula, though. It's just flying on low altitude right behind this building. I'll be doing some damage to my SPW-70 there. T-72 versus T-64. We're definitely not going to win this fight. Just trying to do damage to him because his logistics situation is a lot worse than mine. So anytime I could damage his tanks is good for me because he's going to have to spend that money on supply. And I'm just pulling back to where I know this logistics truck is going to be so that I can heal these guys up and push them up when they're ready. But just not trying to overextend now, trying to get everything in position. You can see I just have tanks kind of all over the place. Shilka going to help to deal with this Mi-24K. Doing a nice bit of damage there. Only 1 more HP. And, oh, that's going to be a dead Mi-24K. And then our T-72 here just has pretty good vision down the road. He does move up another T-64, but I have another tank in position. You can see I'm already moving forward the other one. Unfortunately for me, I didn't realize that would actually get taken out by the next shot, so I didn't bother retreating it. Thought I could survive 1 more shot. So we did lose it, but we did take out a T-64 BB in return, and that's well worth it at this point in the game. And I'm moving forward this recon just to spot some more of this stuff that's hidden in there. So I was managed to sneak forward some of these Matschützen that actually got a really nice hit on that T-64B. Do get the actual kill there as well. So that's huge for me. Dealing with his tanks pretty effectively. And once I deal with this guy's tanks, our T-72 wall that we just keep basically printing up here can just kind of run through. So you see we just had another one show up. Which is now in range of that T-64. Unfortunately, does miss. The Akula finally moved positions, so the Shilkas We're able to take that out. The T-72 here, able to see down this road where the BMDs are coming, so able to take some of those out. And instead of getting shot again by the B, since it did half damage there, we're just going to go ahead and pull back, repair, and then move our supply to where these 2 damaged T-72s are. But I need more infantry for here just to go ahead and clear this out, make sure there's no metis. They're going to start hitting me all over the place. Still nothing happened on the left-hand side, just letting my passive defense just kind of stay as it will. If he's not going to attack me here, I'm not going to bother basically defending that. Just going to put everything I have into this point. I did buy some recon for here, though, just to make sure he didn't basically sneak like an SPG-9 or something into my rear, because that would be pretty devastating dealing with all my anti-air and whatnot. So just wanted to make sure, this road is clear, and then this road itself is clear. So instead of having these T-72s just kind of sitting here doing nothing, you can see I'm actually just going to move them with the pack over here, because I'm sensing that if I can just break through this area, I can have a lot of momentum to just keep kind of pushing into his rear. So you can see, going to go ahead, move up my 2 healed T-72s here. I have the infantry here. We have the other T-72s here. I move forward my recon just a little bit to help maybe spot some more. Get another nice hit and a kill on that T-64B. My other T-72 is now moving up to engage, really strong in numbers. Trying to get shots all over. Unfortunately, we're missing a lot here, but finally get another hit. Just need one more connection to really kill that off. And there's the kill. So our damaged ones can just pull back. Can move forward some of the higher HP ones. We have the infantry now. It's just going to push forward. Now our infantry also just moving up to really kind of zone him out of here. Special off clear also basically spotting any of these ATGMs that are firing at me from the tree line. You can see just the amount of damage we're doing now. Now, unfortunately for me, as this is happening, if we look on the left-hand side of the map, I am completely oblivious to what is happening to Bravo right now. I've lost my T-55 here, and my command tank has been spotted. And while this is happening, I'm just highly focused on these engagements, trying to just basically rush my way through this point, keep my T-72s alive, get more infantry to clear this out. And, well, I hear the sound of my CV, or another CV getting into the zone, and I realize that he's actually captured my back point, because our command goes down. So big oof. He's now at a +2, and we have a problem, because this is actually a spawn zone in the standard 2 legs version. So now he can start spawning out infantry, AA, helicopters if he wanted. So we really need to get this command tank in here as soon as possible to cut that off. So you can see I'm already reversing the T-55. I realize I just need to get some kind of vision over what the heck is happening on this side. We see plenty more helicopters with infantry coming in. I'm trying to basically hit this recon helicopter that caused me a bunch of pain. LGB in the rear there. Just going to go ahead and evac that. I originally thought that was a MiG-29. And then, at least on this side, since he captured that point, you can see I'm just rushing everything down this road now. Just basically going full offensive on that side. Gonna try and get more support before I just run in this CV here. But that is a problem, because he's at a +4. And half of the game still to go. We're at least finding some momentum here. I healed up pretty much all these tanks, so they're ready to go. Gonna have to start moving the AA up with that as well, which we're now doing. Just leaving the injured ones to repair later. But you can see I have quite the numbers of forces that are moving through here. So the BMP is going to basically act as the shield to the T-55 here. Gonna go ahead and just try and run him up the road, and then get him hidden in this forest here, so that then these T-72s and the infantry can kind of cover that. Unfortunately, though, LGB comes out of nowhere. Gotta be able to hit my CV tank. So now we have a bigger issue because I don't actually have any fast moving commands in this deck. All we have is tank CVs, and we have 8 of them. So I go ahead and order another tank CV, but you can see it's going to take quite a long way to get all the way to this side of the point. Over here, though, we do at least get our tank into the zone again, knocks him back down to a +2. We're trying to work this back in. I do get hit by a Conquerors there, his Desaniki running at me with the RPG. We've at least cut off his spawn from here for now, but I desperately need to keep this alive. About to get hit with another Conquerors there. Fortunately for me, he does miss. Trying to just deal with that BMD2. Thankfully, find the hit there with our 50% basically stabilizer. Gonna pull back from some of his infantry. And in this point, we have a wall of T-72s, some BMPs, basically just dealing with these T-64s. I'm just gonna elect to try and rush these all the way into his spawn, just so that whatever he spawns in just basically dies instantly. We have a ton of Shilkas up as well to help deal with helicopters. You can see just our numbers of T-60 or T-72s there dealing with his T-64s. Lots of numbers here, but then I realize I probably don't want them all clumped up like this because, you know, they're just having a hard time maneuvering. So only really going to use a few. Spread these out in case he has a bomber, just so that we don't lose all this in one attack, because that would be pretty catastrophic. One of my helicopters gets shot down. The other one just going to go CV hunting. The recon infantry going to kind of move through here, try and figure out where that command actually is. CV tank still making his way to the other side of the map. You can see he's brought in some helicopters now. And well, my Shilka's kind of out of position. I was trying to move him to the edge here to maybe be able to see these helicopters and get shots on target. Unfortunately, though, they're not really able to see from this angle. So just going to have to pull back my tanks for now. He does have some infantry that's running through here as well. So just trying to run my own infantry to help protect some of my assets here. AT plane comes in for the helicopter. Does get some nice hits there. And I'm fine just letting this MI8 basically shoot rockets at my T-72s because he's not really going to be able to kill me. I move out the Shilka when he's kind of done with his rocket barrage so that I can find the kill. And well, we see his infantry now firing at me. I have more infantry though on the way to help deal with this. Really should have moved these back, but I was also very heavily concentrated on this side. As we can see, I'm trying to move in more helicopters just because I really need to kill the CV off. LGB bomber kills my command again. So he's going to be able to get the full cap on the sector again. Puts him at a +4. I'm trying to desperately run in more tank commands. I've already ordered another one here. I've already ordered another one for here in case this one happens to get sniped again. It's just the slow moving commands are really holding me back right now. We did actually kill his CV in this corner with one of our helicopters. We can see he bought some AA with the ZSU there, or the ZU. Shilka trying to just route some of these planes. My MiG-23 ML trying to find the finishing blow there. Unfortunately, does miss both its long-range missiles. But thankfully, we got our T-72 MK into his rear zone. And for some reason, he decided not to put a CV here. So that's good news for me because this is also a spawn zone. But I don't really want to spawn anything in. So just trying to clear this out with infantry to make sure he doesn't have just a bunch of infantry loaded there in case I do decide to spawn something in. In this objective, though, I really need to get my command back into here. And then if he bought another CV, need to clear that out. So just going to go ahead and get some more infantry, getting some logistics to heal our helicopter because this is our last one. Really important we keep that alive. And I was moving forward the recon just to kind of see what he has. Unfortunately, this is going to go down though because this is a full HP infantry squad. Do get our command in though. Just under 15 minutes left. We are at a +2. We have more infantry coming in. Just to kind of protect that, gonna really start sending in the infantry now because he's gonna struggle to reinforce that. And well, with full control here, I was starting to move towards this zone. We've traded pretty well to this point. It was only a matter of time till we kicked him out of our little spawn zone on the left there. Homelander decides to surrender. So you can see, very good player. Currently ranked number 53. Uh, Very aggressive player as well. But 7th Panzer, we found a way, and these T-72Ms did a really good job throughout the game of taking out those T-64s and the power of numbers. Basically, you just always want to have a 2 versus 1 in any type of situation. You want to take them unvetted. That way, you can actually bring out the numbers. You can bring out 12 of these T-72Ms if you take them at base vet. And I mean, as we saw, did a really good job of just dealing with his tanks. And once we dealt with his tanks, he didn't have the armor to really get to us. All he had was ATGMs, and we could just basically send recon forward, spot those ATGMs, take out the helicopters, and then our armor basically won us the game there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that one, and happy holidays, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Later, guys.